Okay. Cool.
All right.
We're back for another one of these, I guess.
Yay.
So, our next topic is show etiquette, and the reason I picked this is because I went to a concert last night,
Okay.
and I've been to a lot of concerts throughout my life, and they're different depending on the concert, of course. Like Christian concerts are usually like very contained, to say the least. And so last night I went to Imagine Dragons, and the mixture of like crazy versus non-crazy there was so mind-blowing to me, because it's like the etiquette wasn't determined.
I feel like the mixture between crazy and non-crazy is a great description of Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
they're the nice little Mormon kids who scream in their music. Like,
Yep.
so, but no, it was a fun concert and all, but like, a drunk person would do something, right? And then like someone else would just like give them the stare down, and then like there'd be like these just tense moments of people having super uncomfortable eye contact because they're judging each other for like how they're acting at a concert, because like
Right.
one person wants someone else to be more wild and the other person wants someone to be more crazy. And like whenever I go to a show, I went with Liam, and whenever Liam and I go to a show, we like critique the show,
Right.
because that's just what we do. So we were critiquing the stage. We were like, we like this better than this, blah 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 blah. I'm gonna be the first to say it. I like the opening act way more than I like the Imagine Dragons.
Who is the opening?
Yeah,
Her
who
name
was
was
the
like
opening act?
Grace Vanderwald, and she
You heard it here, here first, folks. Grace Vanderwald, if I can speak.
she won like America's Got Talent when she was
Nice.
12, which was 2
Nice.
years ago. So she's like a 14-year-old kid on world tour with the Imagine Dragons.
Crazy.
All right, that's pretty cool. That
And
Yeah,
messes
she,
a person up.
she was a
Right.
phenomenal singer. Yeah, and I've taught people how to sing like around her age, and I texted one of my students and said, "Step up your shit.
You ain't no Grace Vanderwald.
Yeah.
Step up your shit. Where's my world tour? God damn it." But no, like each show we go to, because I think each of us have like vast amounts of performing experience, or like vast amounts of like very performing experience, because like
And just
choir. We've
theater
been to
ex-
choir concerts together. I've been in choir concerts with you. I think I've been in one with you,
Yeah.
maybe. And like we've all been in plays together. I've been a part of concerts. I don't know if like we've ever done one together, but like just the etiquette of like being an audience member is so different, as well as like being backstage
Yeah.
at one of those things. And part of the reason I want to talk about this is because, as I've always said, I think I'm the rudest person I know. I think I'm the rudest person I know, or at least the most blunt, because my etiquette changes jack shit. Like, I act the same at any concert ever, which is mainly jackassery if I'm an audience member,
Right.
and critiquing, and then I'm just like I'm the funny guy backstage, right? And
Within
so
reason. You're respectful and don't
Yeah.
like.
Windows.
Well, yeah, within reason. Like I'm not like, how can I fuck up the show today? Like
Yeah.
that's not what I'm about. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
The thing is, like, the first thing that comes to my mind is punk shows where people don't mosh. Or,
Yeah.
like shit like that, that I'm just like, why are you guys here?
Why did
Like-
you even come? Like,
I don't know. Like, huh?
So like the Imagine Dragons concert was in the MSU Bobcats stadium, like the football stadium, not the field house like they normally are.
Wow.
So it was interesting.
Okay.
So there was 10 times more people than there normally are when we have big concerts here in Bozeman. And it's also like different etiquette like via section. So our section was like the enthusiastic one, is like the way I
Right.
put it. And like demonstration is so my brother, his girlfriend, myself, and Liam, we were all sitting together, and a wave was going around the stadium like a couple times. And so we just wait for it to pass us and then get like halfway through, then we join in. Is the best way. And then like we got a couple people in our row to join us with it too. I threw a bunch of like licorice at kids. I'd be like, here, have some licorice. Here, have some. And the death glares I got, depending on the section I threw it in, was phenomenal.
Classic shit.
Classic Gabe.
Like Liam looked at me. He's like, you know why they're looking at you like that? Because they're like, when people hand candy to kids randomly, sometimes bad things happen. It's like the best way to put it. And I was just like, yeah, well, you know, this is more interesting for me. That person gets to have an interesting conversation when they get home. So.
Some guy threw candy at me today.
Some
And
guy.
I really don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know how I feel about this.
That was like my first 2 weeks at Verge.
Yeah.
Was I threw candy at you?
Yeah.
No, Liam.
Liam.
Oh,
threw
Liam.
candy at
Liam
him.
throwing
Yeah,
candy.
that makes sense.
Yep,
That kid.
that kid.
I was saying, if I threw candy, it was probably because this is hard candy.
Well, speaking about just like etiquette at concerts,
me.
that immediately I thought of the Victor Wooten concert that I went to at the Rialto a while back. Dad took me and my brother to a Victor Wooten concert, and I remember there was
Who the
one
fuck
guy.
is Victor Wooten?
He like does funk stuff, like really like jazzy funk music. Cause my dad's into really jazzy funk music.
This is something I should know.
He's
No, I
somebody
don't-
some people know.
He's somebody some people know.
I
I
understand.
had the same conversation with my
Namely
parents. Where they're like, "We're going to
stoners.
Victor Wooten," and I'm like,
Who is that?
Who the fuck is Victor Wooten?
But then you go, it's like, oh, that's Victor Wooten. This is fun. It was a fun concert, but I remember there was this guy who was like really, who was very close to where I was, and he was just like, much more loud and rowdy than anyone else there, and there was a lot of people like giving him
probably
like weird looks and like glares and stuff like that. And just people telling like, dude, just like chill, man. This isn't like a mosh pit. This isn't like, this is like funk. Like just chill. And then like, but he was also like being really loud and like yelling at people and like asking if anyone like wanted to go out back and smoke weed. And I'm just like, dude, just keep it on the DL, man.
This is a public place.
This is a public
This is a
place.
public
Stop
place.
yelling and
Pass
asking.
notes like in fucking
legalized
high school.
yet.
Like, it's like not everyone has a green card, and like just stop yelling about weed in a public venue, please. We're indoors. This isn't it outside, like in the park or something like that. So that's what I thought of immediately as just kind of what I would consider probably not best concert etiquette: yelling and
Is it-
asking people to smoke pot.
Well, when it comes, so like, for theater, I feel like the etiquette's always the same.
Interesting.
The one exception being Rocky Horror,
Yes.
because Rocky Horror has that audience participation aspect.
Where, yeah, so it's like okay for audience to start yelling random things and yelling at the actors and stuff like that.
I
and-
feel like even within a show though, like a matinee versus a Saturday night is going to be a very different feel to the crowd, and therefore a slightly different etiquette at least, right?
Agreed.
When
Yeah.
when 80% of the
can see
crew
that.
is over, or 80% of the
But for
audience
me,
is over 80.
I feel like every time I've interacted with a matinee crowd, like as an actor versus like a night crowd, the difference is volume, not like mannerism. If that makes sense. Because like the older crowd, they're not gonna be loud. They're not gonna like laugh out loud. Like my grandpa just goes, "Ha." That's how my grandpa laughs. And like, so that's what the matinee crowd is like typically, while like the Saturday night crowd might like bust out laughing more. So I feel like their mannerisms aren't different. It's just like their
Sure.
responses are louder or bigger.
But I mean, you occasionally get the matinee crowd that's, you know, an entire old folks home and they're laughing at all the body humor. But for the most part, they laugh at slightly different things as well, right?
Right.
Yeah, I get, but is that different etiquette though? like that, like the reactions versus like I'm willing to accept if like it's different etiquette because I guess it could be depending on like what jokes the crowd laughs at.
Yeah, I mean,
there's
if
like
you're the one asshole laughing at like
every dick joke,
versus
when
like every
everyone
else
subtle,
is like laughing at the subtle historical reference, like you dial that down.
right?
Hopefully.
Makes sense.
So Isaac, what do you think about etiquette?
About etiquette?
And about etiquette and when attending a night at the theater.
Attending a night at the theater.
Yes.
All right, Isaac, you go for a night at the theater. Vanessa too, because you also haven't talked. You two go to a night at the theater. Like, what's the first? Like, how do you prepare for your night? Do you dress up? Do you do you like wear T-shirts? Like,
Okay.
how do you get dressed for the theater?
That definitely depends on like what kind of show I'm going to see and what theater it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because if I'm going to like Broadway, right, or some really really fancy opera or something, I'm gonna dress differently than if I'm gonna go see
Right.
like Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's completely
yeah.
different.
I
yeah,
have, like,
so
similar dress, bro.
You hopefully have a lot
I
Piss
dress
more
the
clothes.
exact same to Rocky Horror in the opera. I get some weird looks at Rocky Horror.
See, I was looking at the way you were dressed right now, and I was picturing you walking into the opera with like no shirt.
Honestly, I feel like if you dressed as Riff Raff, you'd be pretty okay at the opera.
Word. Yeah.
Well, so
Just
that's
don't
the
be
other thing, though,
Rocky.
right? Is like
You'd be like the drunk, but you'd be
Yeah.
okay. Like you'd be like, that guy has had some.
I feel like it
Pinot."
also doesn't matter as much as it might have at one point, because we're all like it's moving into like 2018
I
and
got
acceptance
yelled
and all
at.
that.
I got yelled at.
You got
when I
yelled
went
at?
to Chicago.
When what year was this?
This was by my family. This was this
Okay.
year. So it wasn't like anyone whose opinion on the topic mattered.
Not just
But
your
it was
family.
my family because I didn't get dressed up to go to Hamilton,
Okay.
but I got dressed up to go watch The Second City.
Okay.
Like do one of
Well,
their
yeah,
comedy shows.
just so it's like just because it's not like you're now like a social outcast if you walk in a t-shirt or something like that. People are still gonna judge you.
Well,
but,
yeah,
like,
Yeah.
but the problem, like the problem is like it's just the difference in like Hamilton. It's just reversed, and that's what confused my family.
what?
Is that they're
Right.
just like, why would you dress up for Second City? Like, first
Oh.
off, I bought those clothes that day, and I was just making sure they didn't itch. Like,
yeah.
Fair enough.
Of course.
like, this was literally me beta testing, like my fucking hardware. Like that's what it was.
All right, well, like here's
You
another
know
thing
we're
though, right?
geeks when you call trying on
On
new
clothes.
new clothes
testing
beta testing your
hardware.
hardware.
Beta tested your clothes.
That's
So,
not
like-
the only hardware I beta tested that night.
Oh. Oh.
Could you imagine?
By
though,
that
like-
I mean I tried out a new computer. Anyway,
yeah. All right.
to watch porn.
Okay.
But
But
anyway,
like, yeah.
continue.
So like, but like in the case of like heckling, what if you walked into an opera, right? And then you started chatting with like the dude walks out on stage and you start singing about how his dog died, and then his wife killed herself
Opera.
because the dog died. You know, opera's a classic opera right there.
I mean,
It's
John
all
John Wick
about the
is
dog
an
dying.
opera,
And then
right?
you're sitting in the front row. John Wick the opera. 3 million
should
bullets
write
and
that
one
shit.
dead body.
I'm pretty sure the second movie is a rock opera.
Lin-Manuel Miranda should write that
Yeah.
shit.
I'm pretty sure the second movie
Get on it, Lin-Manuel.
is a rock opera. Like,
Get on it,
actually.
Lin-Manuel. Write the rock opera.
The
Speaking
rap
of rock
opera.
operas, have any of you? By the way, these topics are allowed to derail
All
if I
right.
haven't ever.
Always.
Yeah, just
Well, that's
We've
just how
noticed.
we interact. But has
Yeah.
anyone seen? God, what was it called? Oh, it
Great
starred
segue.
the guy who played
segue.
Giles in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Repo Man.
Repo Man.
It's on the list of things.
It's-
I gotta watch it.
It is.
Okay.
It is. It looks like it's gonna be bad. It's pretty
Dude,
fucking
we
good.
should have a movie night.
We should
Sounds
totally have a movie night. We should see if it's on Prime
We should
and watch
invite
it
the
after
entire
this.
podcasting audience to our movie night.
Yes.
Oh my God!
All
We're
Hold
zero
on,
of
line.
them.
If you want, just send us an email.
Just
if you
send,
wanna
just send
join.
us an email. We'll
And
give
buy
you
a
Arlen's
plane
address
ticket to
and his banking
Montana.
info.
Yeah, something. I forgot my password at gmail.com.
Something. I have a
How much
buddy.
time do we have left on this topic?
We have like fucking a minute 24.
Yay.
Vanessa, what do you do to prepare for shows?
Well, so I've spent considerably more time as an audience member than behind the scenes, but I have done like lights and I've been in shows. I actually like being an audience member more. I just enjoy them more. So to prepare for a show, it definitely depends on where I'm going. I do like to dress up a lot, and I think this actually leads into my main thing as an audience member, is I usually just act like I'm the coolest person there, and I'm like...
Which you are.
And so, for example, I think this is an extreme example, but I do this with even, like, community theater. I went to a local symphony, and I had, like, balcony, front row, exact center seats, and I was like, I'm a queen, and I was like, I am awesome, and I like had my nose in the air, and this is how I act
It's always
for
it's always
everything.
great
So
sitting in those
I always
seats.
have like a golf clap for all of my
Yes.
stuff. And
I've had
I-
those seats before
like-
where I look down and I'm like, I'm better than all of you.
But I'm like that at every show that I go to, and I do like I critique the show.
You're just like
But I
sitting
also
in the
am just,
pit,
like-
with the orchestra because you couldn't afford other tickets. You're just like,
I'm
fuck all of
definitely
you.
like one of the quietest audience members.
Oh.
I think.
That is our timer. But anyway, Vanessa, finish.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I just act like I'm better than everybody else, and I know exactly what etiquette is supposed to be, and then I like
Fake it
kind of
till you make
sneer at people when they do it wrong, and that's it. I don't know.
All right.
So you act like a duchess.
Yes.
All right.
Go into the office.
Anyway, let's move on to the next topic, guys.
All right.